allowed to operate until January 7th.
Okay. Let's look at the bigger picture here.
Yeah.
By December 31, if this is still not passed, which I believe will not be passed, there's going to be a looming government shutdown.
I don't think so.
Why don't you?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Before Christmas, government workers will receive their salary. By January ending, government workers will receive their salary. I'm not too sure there will be a looming danger in this country.
Okay.
I mean, on the 2nd of January, when we come to Parliament and we zoom into business and we approve the budget and other matters are also considered, I think that we will all be good to go. I mean,
but let's look at the tax waivers, for instance.
Yes.
Are they that important? Wouldn't you rather let the next NDC administration take charge of that?
Well, these are waivers that have come to support indigenous Ghanaian businesses. I mean, unless we
So you want to support Ghanaian businesses in the last minute before you take a bow?
No, this has been on the radar for a very long time. Issues of tax waiver has been on our table for a very long time, and I know that the NDC know. You see, in Parliament, the decision as to something, going through or not, rests with members of Parliament. And it's important that we allow leadership to present to us on the floor the issues that they think that ought to be discussed. If we go there and we argue, and based on the argument, we think that tax waivers are not relevant at this point, we will all take a decision, we will all vote, and the decision will be taken. But nobody should sit in his corner, nobody should sit in his office and would want to prevent government business from going on. It is wrong. It is not proper. It is not something that we should condone. And for me, that is where I want Ghanaians to really focus on. The fact that you have one political party does not mean, political power does not mean that you should even shape how the president operates. It is wrong. It's a wrong practice. It's a wrong precedent which ought not to be set in this country.
Okay. But yesterday, Atuforsen, visibly furious, threatened a jail term for the finance minister if the mini budget is not approved. What's your response to that? I'm
surprised at his understanding of the law. I mean, those are his understanding, and let's keep it to that. If he thinks that the finance minister has flouted any laws, luckily for him, on January 7th, he would assume the reins of power. So whatever he wants to do, he should go ahead and do it. But the finance minister also has a responsibility. The government, led by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, have been given a mandate. The mandate ends on the 6th of January, midnight of the 6th of January. And nobody should blackmail that government. That is wrong. It's a wrong practice.
Are you not blackmailing the NDC too?
For what? Blackmailing the NDC for what? To what end?
To get them to side with you.
Unless you think that the issues that are before the Parliament of Ghana are not relevant, unless you think that the issues that are being raised by the majority leader are not so relevant to us as a people, then yes. But we are talking about indigenous Ghanaian businesses, businessmen who are leading the forefront. They are engaged in the One District, One Factory program, and they need some level of support. Can you imagine in the last 2 years what these businesses have gone through? But if we think that it is not proper, let the MPs decide. It is not Atuforsen, it is not Afenyo Makin, it is not the Speaker of Parliament. They come to the plenary, we need to debate, let's discuss it. And if we accept it, fine. If we refuse it, fine.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, for the 5th time running, the finance minister has failed to make an appearance. You are saying that
for the 5th time running, when was the finance minister invited?
He was supposed to be there on Monday, wasn't he?
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know if an invitation was extended to the finance minister on Monday.
You are not aware? I'm
not aware. I've been in Parliament from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I don't know that the finance minister has been invited and he has declined that invitation. Mind you, the finance minister is also a member of Parliament. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. But yesterday, there was word from your caucus that he was going to show up in Parliament today. He couldn't do that. But you say that the government doesn't work in isolation. What is the assurance that on January 2nd, the mini budget will be presented?
We have all indication that on January 2nd, the mini budget will be presented. The judges would be approval of the judges will be presented to the plenary. The tax waivers will be presented. Let the people take that decision. Let the people take that decision. The 275 MPs.
And you are sure that the NDC MPs will collaborate this time round?
Well, they ought to collaborate. They need to collaborate. That is the essence of democracy.
Okay.
It's about decision making. It's about majority carrying the day. It's not about hooliganism. It's not about machoism. And that kind of spirit that is all of a sudden springing up across the country, even at collation centers. We see macho men mass up at collation centers and to some extent strangling electoral officers. For me, that practice ought to be dropped. I mean, we don't need that in this country. It's a democratic nation.
Okay.
Since 1992, we have enjoyed that peace, and it needs to be protected.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to talk about the 2024 general election briefly, but now that you touched on some coalition issues, the courts has, obviously ordered the EC to recollate and redeclare results for some disputed parliamentary constituencies. What's your take on that briefly?
I think that is the right decision that the court took. And I'm surprised that the NDC is running away from collation of results. Collation of results is not voting. Collation of results is just a process where the decision, the voting from the people is brought together. A calculator or an Excel spreadsheet is put before an electoral officer, and all these results are collated, and a declaration is made. And so if you think you have won an election in Sawama Dwajiri, if you think you've won an election in Ablekuma Central, or Kankwe Central, if you think you have won an election in Obuasi East, why are you running away from the collation process? Why are they running away from the collation process? If they think that they have won an election, why are they running away from the collation process? And the people of Okankwe North Central are expecting that their vote is truly represented. I mean, how do you put together 114 polling stations out of some 143 polling stations and say that if you don't declare, we are going to kill you? Is this a practice that we want to encourage in this country? Are we living in a jungle? Is it a coup d'etat that has taken place in this country? And people are entertaining this practice. It should not happen. It should not happen. I mean, on the 7th of December, when we went to the polls, by 12 a.m., from the MPP side, we knew that John Mahama had won the election. As early as 9 a.m., our presidential candidate came out and said that John Mahama has won the election, and he congratulates him. And so if Patrick Boama has won an election in Okankwe Central, why would you want to deny him that right? Why would you want to deny the decision that the people took in Okankwe Central by using tax, macho men to invade the collation process, and in some areas even tear? We've seen people destroy pink sheets and all of that.
But there's this claim that elections are won at the polling stations. I mean, that was past precedents.
And in Okankwe Central, Patrick Boama's place, the election was won at the polling station. In Ablekuma North, the election was won at the polling station. In in Swama Diogiri, election is being won at the polling station. So all that matters now is to put together the figures from the various polling stations and let the Electoral Commission declare. And they are using every means possible, including Tagri, to deny the people of in these constituencies representation or true representation. That will never happen. We will never allow that to go on.
Okay. Now, talking about the 2024 general election, I haven't engaged you since post-election. Your party did abysmally. What happened?
Well, we are putting together a team to investigate why we perform so poorly, and it's important that we allow a scientific process to be undertaken. I'm not here to apportion blames. I mean, we have lost an election, Honorable Wari. And that is what has happened. And for us, we appreciate that. We appreciate that. You see, it's about service. It's about putting yourself before the people and telling them that I want to serve you. I want to continue with free SHS. I want to continue one district, one factory, and all of that. When the people decide otherwise, you have no, you should not be worried. If truly your real intent is to serve them, you should not be too worried about it. I mean, you only want to serve for 4 years. The people say no.
But when the defeat is marginal, is that not worrisome?
Well, that's what I'm saying, that for us, we are worried. As a political party, as a political entity, we should not be doing less than 42%. So we are investigating, we are putting together a team to find out, to want to find out why this performance and what we can do to remedy the situation. But I mean, on the face of the results, you realize that some 2.1 million people who voted in 2020 decided not to vote in 2024. What we need to find out is that where are these people placed? Are they placed in our constituencies? Are they placed in our strongholds? If they are, then we take a decision on that. For instance, in my constituency, since 2000, I've always had about 10,000 of my voters not being present during election day. This time, it increased to 20,000. So I've also put together a team to find out why it happened that way. I mean, it should not happen in 2028. People's right to vote is something that ought to be protected.
Absolutely.
Irrespective of where they are voting to, as a politician, as a member of parliament, whatever it takes to encourage them to get to the post to decide, I think that I have to do that.
Okay.
And it's something that I'm finding out. If it's that accountability was low, we find a way of being accountable to the people. If it's that visibility was low, we find a way of being visible to the people. If it's that they wanted something else, we need to find a way. I mean, if it's our messaging which wasn't right, we need to find a way. So everything has to be scientific. And that is why I would pray that we would allow that space for the special committee that will be set forth by the party to take a decision. I know on Monday, the National Council is likely, the MPP is likely to meet. If they meet and take a decision as to the committee, it will be known to the general public. And we hope and pray that we get to find out why this level of performance.
Okay. But you mentioned scientific, so I just want to talk about polls briefly.
Yeah.
Maybe if you had taken, polls conducted seriously, don't you think that you would have averted this loss?
And who says we did not? We
did?
We did. I mean, every political party has its own internal polls. And we knew it was a difficult election. As for that, we knew about it. Probably maybe it's the margins that
you didn't expect.
Yes, of course. If people decide not to vote, then it is quite worrisome. I mean, if you go to the person and he tells you, I'm going to vote, and on the day of election, the person decides not to show up, that one is difficult to get posters to want to tell you that this is what will happen. So, but it has happened. I mean, we are a democratic party. We believe in the rule of law. We believe in people's ability to decide, to take a decision, and they have done that. We respect that. And if there's one thing we can say to our teaming supporters is that we are sorry. We have disappointed them. I mean, on the Tuesday after the election, I had a call from one of my polling station chairmen from my constituency. He was crying so heavily. And I felt for him. It tells you how people have cherished the MPP, how people have carried the MPP on their shoulders. And for some of them, they have not even had the privilege that some of us have had, sitting in parliament, representing the party, or coming to sit at Starr FM and being interviewed by Tutuwaa. They have not even had the opportunity to have enjoyed that. But we have lost, and they are sad.
Do you think that the national executives performed to the satisfaction of the electorate?
Let us wait until after the research is done. I'm a purely scientific person. I don't engage in speculations. I don't engage in name callings.
But on a face value,
yeah, they did their best.
They did.
We all did our best. Members of parliament, parliamentary candidates, presidential candidates, the government, everybody did its best. But we need to find out why these results. And you can only do that after a proper research has been conducted.
Okay.
So let us not begin to apportion blames.
Okay.
It is a wrong thing to do.
But I mean, the research hasn't been conducted, but Dr. Bawumia is, in a way, blaming what he calls the NDC media for his loss.
That is Dr. Bawumia's opinion.
But he was representing the entire party.
Yes, that is his opinion.
You don't agree with him?
Well, I have not seen any document to that effect. But from where it sits, is in a privileged position. It could have some strong evidence.
But don't you think the media was fair to the NPP?
The media? Well, I'm saying that whatever Dr. Bawumia said, whatever information he has, I do not have it. And until I've met with Dr. Bawumia, for him to tell me that these are the reasons why I said so, let me end it here. I mean, we have, even in America, you have media houses that have political affiliations. I mean, during the U.S. election, if you are watching CNN, you sure would bet that Kamala Harris was going to win the election. If you were on Fox News, you certainly knew that Trump was going to win the elections. And so, I mean, everybody has his own biases. But let's wait till after the report is out.
Okay.
Then we can take a decision.
Okay, let's shift from the national level and come to your constituency.
Okay.
Forgive me for not congratulating you, but congratulations for retaining that seat again.
Yeah.
In 2020, you did over 25,000.
Yes, I did 25,000.
In 2024, you did around 17,000.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, like I mentioned, 20,000 of my voters did not come to vote.
Why?
20,000. I don't know.
You don't think you had performed to their satisfaction?
I think that I did. If I had not performed to their satisfaction, they were going to vote for the NDC. In 2020, the NDC candidate did 9,000 plus votes. In 2024, it did 9,000 plus votes. So it means that its messaging was not accepted by the people.
Okay.
What it tells me is that the people only did not come out to vote. I need to find out, investigate why my people did not come out to vote. I'm very certain that if the 20,000 people had voted, I was going to get 18,000 out of the 20,000 because I knew the work that I had done. I mean, travel the length and breadth of my constituency, engage my constituents. But you know, I also come from a constituency where majority of my people also live in Accra. And so if you have a bit of a challenge with transportation, then it becomes problematic. I know that the Friday and the Saturday, there were a lot of people at a Neoplan station who were looking for vehicles to come to Kwahu to vote. And they couldn't, they were even looking for a truck, like an articulator sort of, that they would just sit in the trunk.
To transport them.
And to transport them to come and vote. Because they appreciate the level of development, they appreciate what we have done in the constituency. So a lot of things might have culminated in our performance in the constituency. But for me, what excites me is that it is not a rejection from my people.
Absolutely.
If it were to be a rejection, then they would have gone to vote for the NDC candidate or some other parliamentary candidate. But if you look at the trend, in most of the places where I performed well, most of the people did not come to vote. And the concern that they tell me is that they didn't even get vehicles to transport them from the various centers to
okay. But I mean, despite those developments, you still retained the seats. What do you think did the magic for you?
I think it's constant engagement. I always say that as members of parliament, a lot of the things we do are not tangible, are not things that the people can hold and feel and all of that. So your constant engagement with the people. I mean, you have a sister station in Nkoko.
Ago FM.
Ago FM. I mean, I'm a regular host. At least every month, I try to appear on Ago FM to engage my people. I mean, all the time, if I'm in the constituency, I engage people on Ago FM and other radio stations just to tell them what is happening in Parliament, just to explain to them some national development and also the things we are doing to improve on their basic amenities and all of that.
Okay.
So for me, I think it's one thing. And despite my recent surgery and difficulties, they were always feeling my presence. Anytime I left the hospital and I came to Ghana, I was with them. I mean, they see the difficulties, how you struggle, and how you are always with them. And even the things that we did, even in this situation, the people still appreciate it. And
when you say things you did, what are some of the things you think you did?
well, I mean, in the last 4 years, we have championed road construction. Today, if you go to one of the major towns that produce bananas, I mean, for distribution across various markets in Ghana, in Tomem, Bepon, those areas, there's a road construction over 500 million cedis worth. I mean, road construction that is currently being undertaken by Ghana Highways. I mean, go to Esikem, go to Asakaka, town roads are being constructed. Go to Mpraeso, who's constructed their town roads. In terms of ICT improvement, today we have an ICT lab in Mpraeso. We have an ICT lab fully finished, yet to be commissioned in Bepon. A lot of the things, I mean, water provision. And it is not something coming from my pocket, but your ability to lobby central government to bring this development to you is what I believe did the trick.
Is it that you have the best lobbying skills? Because I've sat here with people who say that, you know what, because our government wasn't in power, no matter how hard we tried to lobby, we still didn't get what we wanted.
But there are MPs on the other side who are also doing well in their constituency. I mean, you go to Tutuwaa Blackwell's Facebook wall, and he's always doing something magical in his constituency. And it's something that I want to continue to do. I mean, for me, we are all contributors of the national purse. I mean, we pay taxes. The people of Kowu pay taxes to central government, and our due ought to be given to us. And it's something that I will be championing. Constant reminder to government, constant reminder to ministers, constant reminder to the local assembly that we ought to develop our place. We also matter, and I know that it's going to yield results.
Okay. Now, I mean, you have managed to retain the seats for the Mpraeso constituency.
Yeah.
Going forward, what should your constituents be on the lookout for?
Well, I've told them that I'll continue to represent them. That is, for me, is the foremost thing to do, providing representation in Parliament. Always their MP ought to be heard. And if they are hearing from you, it should be something tangible, it should be something sensible, it should be something that is contributing to better their lives and also to better the country. So it's an assurance that we are giving them, and also an assurance that we are giving to especially the New Patriotic Party, that despite the numbers that we are doing in Parliament, it's not going to be an easy path for the NDC in Parliament. Yes, when it comes to voting, they would have their numbers, but we would raise every important issue that ought to be raised in this country. I mean, we all represent our various constituencies. We are going to highlight the negatives. We are going to highlight the flaws. And we do so with the aim of the government improving on the lives or the governance of this country. It is not to bring them down, but it is to ensure that the proper thing is always being done. And that assurance we are giving to our people. So if it does not happen on the floor, it will happen outside the floor.
Okay. I mean, you mentioned the numbers you are doing in Parliament currently. Yes. How will you survive?
We will survive. In the year 1997, after the NPP had boycotted the 1993 parliament, we came back with 61 members of Parliament against some 160 something for the NDC. And today, when you speak to people, they tell you that is one of the parliament where the likes of Nanado Danko Kufuado, the Hakman Owusu-Agyeman, the Konedu Aprekus, that is where their voices were heard. I mean, going to court, trying to stop things, using the court process, trying to demonstrate on the streets, and all of that. Ghanaians are going to see a replica of the 1997 Parliament. Absolutely. That is an assurance.
Okay. But now let's just backtrack to the 8th Parliament now. If we are to assess the 8th Parliament, how would you describe the 8th Parliament?
Well, it's been a tough one. I feel that in the early stages, we were trying to understand what a hung parliament will look like. There were some challenges. But, I mean, it's been a tough one, especially for government. I mean, the government in power, people trying to block your way, just like what is happening now. You want to bring tax waivers, and they say no. You want to bring judges for approval, they say no. You want to bring whatever, they say no. Because the numbers does not allow you to do the things that would better the lives of your people. And so it's been a difficult one. It's been a difficult one, and I pray that the next time we get that hung nature of our parliament, our democracy should have grown to an appreciable level where the people would appreciate that, yes, even if it's a hung parliament, government business still needs to continue. Absolutely. I mean, if you look at the U.S. Senate and their Congress and everything, it's always been like this. It's always been in a balance. Sometimes you need a vice president to come in there to also vote to take a decision. So, and it's been a tough one. But their democracy is far advanced.
Absolutely.
Ours, we are getting there. It's a beautiful one and something that we always cherish. So it's a tough one, but it's been a great learning curve for some of us.
But I mean, there are concerns that the ninth parliament may be a rubber stamp parliament.
Well, it may be. But this is a time that if you're a member of parliament elected to represent the NDC, your people would want to see some difference. It is not everything that you say, yeah. At least on our part, we had a group of MPs coming out to say that, finance minister, we don't want you. We advocated, went to the president, and we did things out of the convention. You understand? That is what we want to see from our colleagues who are also coming and who will be representing the NDC. If you see something is not right, you need to voice out. I mean, the fact that you belong to the NDC does not mean that everything should be yeah. If you sit in that parliament and it's always a yeah, the next time you go to the polls, your people will reject you because they expect to see some difference as members of parliament.
Okay. What will be your final words? You're wrapping up shortly.
Well, my final words are that we pray for peace in this country. For instance, I'm praying that Dr. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama succeeds, because if he succeeds, it is my constituents who have succeeded. And I pray that in 2028, the MPP comes back to win our seats. But that said, we should allow the rule of law to work. We should allow state institutions to function. The Electoral Commission is an independent body, and political parties must stay off the Electoral Commission and allow them to do their work. That is what we expect of the NDC. I mean, when I was coming, I heard my colleague Eduji say that, yes, the courts have decided, but the implementation of same at the polling station will be problematic. It is against the very principles that we are all championing. I mean, if you're a lawyer, you should not be speaking that way. You're an advocate for the court. And so when you get to the place, ensure that what the court has said comes to fruition. Other than that, when there's a breakdown of law and order in this country, it is him, it is me, and it is you who will suffer.
Okay, but I know that I said you're wrapping up, but briefly, who is going to be your minority leader?
But we can really have a minority leader. Alexander Apenyomakin.
Are you maintaining him in the ninth parliament?
He's the majority leader now.
I'm asking about minority. You are going to be the minority in the ninth parliament.
Oh, so you want to know what will happen in the ninth? Well, the new standing orders provide that the members of parliament elect and also the party leadership sits down to consider all of this.
Have names come up already?
Oh, a lot.
Some are
Afenyomakin and Afenyomakin.
So it's Afenyomakin.
Well, he ought to. I mean, he has the experience. I believe in continuity and longevity. So,
so you are indirectly advocating for Afenyomakin.
I'm saying that he has the experience.
I'm saying indirectly.
Yes, if he's made the minority leader, I'll be happy. If the party leadership also thinks otherwise, I mean, that is a decision for them to take.
What about those who say Opoku is a perfect fit?
Well, Opoku is a nice gentleman. Opoku has gained so much experience over the years. If Opoku is also made the minority leader, I'll be happy. For me, the most important thing is how we work together as a unit to ensure victory in 2028. That one, it do not require names. It requires cohesion. It do not require names. It requires working in that bond that we need to bond together. And so whether it is Oponkruma or it's Apenyo Markin or it is even OPK, who is the minority leader, we need to work.
Dominic Nitto's name has also come up.
Dominic Nitto.
What do you make of him?
Well, he has experience. He's doing his fifth or sixth term in Parliament, and so he has some appreciation. He has a lot of experience. He served in Akufo-Addo's government in the last 8 years, and if in the wisdom of the party they think that Dominic Nitto also deserves to be a minority leader, so be it. So a lot of names are coming up.
But if OPK had the chance, you'd go for Afenyo Markin because you believe in longevity and continuity.
If OPK had the chance, you would go for OPK to be minority leader.
You want to be minority leader?
Why can't I be minority leader?
Okay.
I can be minority leader.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course you can.
Or you think I'm not articulate enough?
I don't think so. I have
Yes.
heard you speak for how many years now?
Yes. So I can be minority leader. But it's not something that I aspire. I mean,
why is that? You don't aspire to be minority leader?
Well, I think that it comes with a bit of experience.
You're going to do your second term.
Yes. So
you don't think you're experienced enough?
I am, but maybe some other roles, but not the minority leadership for now.
What role are you eyeing?
I'm not eyeing for any role as at now. Unless Tutuwaa, you want to pray that one day I made somebody in the caucus. But you see, the way OPK operates, whether he's made a minority leader or he's made anything in this world, I mean, it would still operate and be doing the things that needs to be done, providing that strong and credible opposition. That assurance I'm giving to the Ghanaians.
But there's also your boss, Brian Champon. You think that? Don't you think that Kwewus deserve
a solid
a chance at the
Brian Champon
bench?
is a solid brand. Brian Champon is a solid gentleman. His name. I was surprised you didn't mention Brian Champon. I mean,
I didn't mention. Okay.
Yes.
Well, I think it was Afenyo's Markin and
are you advocating for Afenyo?
I'm not advocating for anybody.
Yes. So there are a lot of names. There are Anyimedus, but I tell you, Brian Champon.
Let's talk about Brian Champon.
Brian is a solid gentleman. He has a lot of experience. He's a doctor. I mean, he's articulate. And so if he's made the minority leader, I believe that he can lead the group to as it were, prepare the group to ensure the victory that we all seek in the coming years.
Or OPK.
Hey, you find trouble, give me your Charlie.
But thank you very much for coming.
Let me just be in my corner. Let me think about myself.
Oh, but you just said that. I mean, if I find it fit that you deserve, or I pray for you that you deserve.
Well, yes, like I mentioned, it's something that I can do, and at the end of the day, the decision does not rest with me. It's a decision that ought to be taken by the leadership. I see producer always writing questions, so you always say this is the last thing, and something pops
This
up.
is the last thing.
Okay.
What will be your final words? I mean, we are about to celebrate Christmas. So
Yes.
What are your final words for your listeners in Crew?
Charlie, it's all fun. I mean, let's all have fun this Christmas.
Any victory party coming up?
Me, I've lost election. No?
Oh.
My party lost election.
But you didn't lose.
But my party lost.
So
But of course,
no victory party.
I'm a party person.
I know that.
Yeah, I'm a party person. So
that I know.
if I don't even organize one, I will be going for parties.
Okay.
So that one, be rest assured.
Absolutely.
And I will be going with my crutches, my newfound crutches this year. So yes.
But I mean, finally, we are wrapping up. So what is your Christmas message for your listeners?
Well, Christmas is a period where, for me, it's about giving. I mean, Christ was given to us, and we all saw the benefits of doing that. I pray that we all learn to give. Let's give our all. Let's give our time. Let's give our energy. Let's give our resources, everything that we have for the betterment of Ghana, and especially in Mpraeso constituency. Yeah, and there's, we don't do Christmas plenty like that.
Yours is Easter.
Easter. But of course, there's a newfound love for me partying with old ladies and Zoom Lion workers. I did that last year. It was fun, and I want to I want to do same this year as well.
Okay, in Mpraeso.
Yes, in Mpraeso.
Okay.
They know how to dance, Papa. Last year I danced with them. This year I'll be dancing with my crutches.
Okay.
But it will still be fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, Tutuwaa.
I've been engaging David Opoku Ansah, also known as Davis OPK.
Yes.
Thank you very much. That wraps up Starr today here on Starr FM. For more news updates, kindly log on to starfm.com.gh. I'm Tutuwaa Danso. This bulletin was produced by Echo Anand, Benjamin Saki, Prince Essien, and of course, Emmanuel Anjo. We made sure that this stream was possible on social media. Have a good evening.